Mecca, the holy city, was a place of deep spiritual significance. Nestled in the heart of the Arabian Peninsula, it was a bustling center of trade and culture. Pilgrims from far and wide would journey to this sacred city, drawn by the allure of the Kaaba, the ancient house of worship believed to have been built by Abraham and his son Ishmael. Yet, before the Prophet Muhammad's return, it was also a city divided. The social fabric of Mecca was torn by tribal rivalries and conflicts. Each tribe vied for power and influence, creating an atmosphere of tension and discord. Tribal rivalries and the worship of idols had cast a shadow over its sacred heart. The Kaaba, once a symbol of monotheism, had become surrounded by numerous idols, each representing different deities worshipped by the various tribes. The Kaaba, a symbol of God's unity, was surrounded by pagan deities. The spiritual essence of Mecca was overshadowed by these practices, and the true message of monotheism was lost amidst the cacophony of idol worship. The message of monotheism, preached by the Prophet, was met with fierce resistance. Muhammad's call to worship one God challenged the very foundations of Meccan society, threatening the power and influence of the tribal leaders. Many of Mecca's powerful elites saw this new faith as a threat to their way of life. They feared losing their status and control over the people, and thus, they opposed the Prophet's teachings with all their might. The Prophet and his followers faced persecution. They were mocked, beaten, and ostracized by their own community. The early Muslims endured immense suffering for their beliefs, holding steadfast to their faith despite the relentless opposition. They were driven from their homes, forced to seek refuge elsewhere. The Hijra, or migration to Medina, marked a turning point in Islamic history, as the Prophet and his followers found a new home where they could practice their faith freely. The early Muslims endured years of hardship, their faith tested at every turn. Despite the trials they faced, their resolve only grew stronger, and their community continued to expand. But even in exile, their belief in God remained unshaken. They continued to pray, to hope, and to dream of the day they could return to their beloved Mecca. They yearned to return to Mecca not as conquerors but as pilgrims. Their hearts were filled with a deep longing to once again walk the sacred grounds of their holy city, to worship at the Kaaba, and to fulfill their spiritual journey. After years of exile, the Prophet Muhammad received a revelation. It was time to return to Mecca. The Prophet, known for his compassion, chose a path of peace. He gathered his followers, not with weapons of war, but with the spirit of pilgrimage. Their journey was not a military campaign but a testament to their unwavering faith. As they marched, their numbers swelled. Tribes who had once opposed them now joined their ranks, drawn to the message of unity and forgiveness. The Prophet, a beacon of hope, welcomed them all. He understood that true strength lay not in might but in mercy. The Prophet and his followers approached Mecca not as conquerors, but as pilgrims. They laid down their arms, seeking to enter the city in peace. The Meccans, witnessing this act of humility, were filled with awe. The Prophet, instead of seeking revenge, offered forgiveness. He declared an amnesty, pardoning even those who had persecuted him and his followers. This act of forgiveness was unprecedented. It shattered the cycle of violence that had plagued Mecca for generations. The Prophet's mercy touched the hearts of the people, paving the way for reconciliation and healing. With hearts filled with gratitude, the Prophet and his followers entered the Kaaba. They cleansed the sacred space of idols, restoring it to its original purpose, the worship of one God. The removal of these idols was not an act of desecration, but an act of purification. It marked the beginning of a new era in Mecca, an era defined by monotheism and spiritual renewal. The call to prayer echoed through the city, a testament to the triumph of faith over adversity. Mecca, once a place of division, was now united under the banner of Islam. The Prophet's message of peace and unity resonated deeply, transforming the very fabric of Meccan society. Section 5, Echoes of Unity, the Prophet's Sermon and the Pact of Peace. From the steps of the Kaaba, the prophet addressed the people. His voice carried a message that would echo through the ages. He spoke of God's mercy, emphasizing the importance of forgiveness and compassion. His words were not just a call to faith but a call to humanity. He declared that all Muslims were equal, regardless of tribe or social status. This was a revolutionary idea in a society deeply divided by tribal loyalties. His words resonated with the crowd, sowing the seeds of unity and brotherhood. The people felt a sense of belonging and purpose, united under a common cause. To solidify this new era of peace, the prophet established a pact with the Meccan tribes. This pact was more than a political agreement. It was a moral commitment to uphold justice and protect the vulnerable. This pact guaranteed the safety of all citizens and pilgrims, regardless of their beliefs. It was a promise of security and mutual respect, fostering an environment where people could coexist peacefully. It marked a turning point in Arabian history, establishing Mecca as a beacon of peace and a center for intertribal diplomacy. The prophet's sermon and the subsequent pact laid the foundation for a new era of harmony and cooperation, transforming Mecca into a symbol of unity and hope for generations to come. Section 6. From Persecution to Protection: The Birth of a Just Society. The conquest of Mecca was not just a military victory, it was a triumph of compassion and justice. The prophet established a new social order based on the principles of equality, fairness, and the rule of law. The vulnerable were given protection, the oppressed were given a voice, and the rights of all were respected. This newfound justice extended beyond the city limits. The prophet sent envoys to neighboring kingdoms, inviting them to embrace Islam and establish peaceful relations. His message of peace and unity resonated far and wide, laying the foundation for a more just and equitable world. Section 7. A sanctuary, not a battlefield: Mecca's transformation. The conquest of Mecca marked a profound shift in the city's identity. This pivotal event in Islamic history not only changed the political landscape but also transformed the spiritual essence of Mecca. The city, which had been a center of tribal conflicts and idol worship, was now on the path to becoming the heart of the Islamic world. No longer a place of conflict and division, it became a sanctuary for all Muslims. The transformation was not just physical but deeply spiritual. The streets that once echoed with the sounds of battles now resonated with prayers and the recitation of the Koran. Pilgrims from all corners of the Arabian Peninsula and beyond flocked to Mecca to perform the Hajj, the annual pilgrimage. This journey, undertaken by millions, symbolized the unity and equality of all Muslims. The city became a melting pot of cultures, languages, and traditions, all bound by a common faith. The city, once known for its tribal rivalries, was now a melting pot of cultures and ethnicities, united by their shared faith. The annual pilgrimage brought together people from diverse backgrounds, fostering a sense of global Muslim community. The bonds formed during Hajj transcended national and ethnic boundaries, creating a tapestry of unity and brotherhood. The Kaaba, cleansed of idols, stood as a powerful symbol of God's unity. It was a beacon of monotheism, drawing believers from all over the world. The sight of the Kaaba, standing majestically in the center of the Grand Mosque, inspired awe and reverence in the hearts of all who beheld it. It served as a reminder that all humans are equal in the eyes of God, regardless of their background or beliefs. The unity experienced in Mecca was a microcosm of the ideal Islamic society, where justice, equality, and compassion reigned supreme. Mecca, once a city of idols, was now a city of God, a beacon of hope for a world yearning for peace. Its transformation from a place of strife to a sanctuary of faith and unity stands as a testament to the enduring power of belief and the possibility of change. The legacy of Mecca's transformation continues to inspire millions, reminding us of the profound impact that faith and unity can have on the world. Section 8. Beyond the Sands of Time: The Enduring Lessons of Forgiveness. The conquest of Mecca offers timeless lessons for humanity. It teaches us that true victory lies not in conquest, but in forgiveness. The The Prophet's example of mercy and compassion continues to inspire millions around the world, reminding us that even in the face of adversity, we must choose peace over revenge. The story of Mecca's transformation reminds us that change is possible. Even deeply entrenched conflicts can be resolved through dialogue, understanding, and a willingness to forgive. The Prophet's legacy serves as a beacon of hope, illuminating the path towards a more just and compassionate world. Section 9. A legacy of compassion inspiring peace in a divided world. In a world often torn apart by conflict and division, the conquest of Mecca stands as a powerful reminder of the transformative power of forgiveness. The Prophet's legacy continues to inspire individuals and communities to bridge divides, build bridges of understanding, and work towards a more peaceful and just world. The story of Mecca's transformation is not just a historical event, it is a timeless message of hope that continues to resonate across cultures and generations. It teaches us that even in the darkest of times, the light of compassion and forgiveness can illuminate the path towards a brighter future.